Hey, soul warriors. Have you ever felt lost in the depths of your soul? As if the light has vanished and you're left wandering around in the dark? Today we'll delve into the transformative process known as the dark night of the soul. This profound experience can lead to a powerful spiritual awakening and a renewed sense of purpose. So let's navigate this spiritual darkness together and emerge stronger than ever before. It's funny, we were talking at breakfast this morning about how we've both been feeling, and we both use different words, but we're both coming out of a dark night of the soul at the same time.
Absolutely.
And it has been a place where I have been going deeper and deeper into my spirituality and feeling more and more lost and more like, oh, I'm, calling in the light of my true being and all this stuff, but it's getting darker and darker. What am I doing wrong? Where the hell am I? Why isn't this stuff working? Mm-hmm. That's when you know.
And I felt like I've been flapping in the wind, asking questions, trying to realign, reset, doing all the things, and still feeling like, what am I missing? Like, what's going on? Only to realize that dark side of me is very present, and I need to play nice with it and get to know it better and accept it because it's a part of who I am.
Yeah, this is all about unraveling all of your old crap because it's been presenting to me a lot. Because, the cool thing is once you get into this, you're just, when you're looking for what am I missing or why isn't this working, you're diving deeper and deeper into yourself. So like this darkness is actually like a beautiful, powerful thing that's happening so you can explore those things. Because otherwise, if we were all just out like having fun and la la la, like you're not getting into the depths of that. Like, why am I behaving that way? Why am I doing this? Wow, I keep looping back to that. Like I'm trying to stay present in a high frequency of love and joy and fun, and I keep looping back to this old hurt. Okay, let's look at that. Or I keep looping back to this, worrying about this or fearful of that. Let's take a look at that. Let's dive into it. Because that's how you uncover, like you turn the stone to find the gold, find what's underneath, what's buried in there.
Mm-hmm. It feels like I'm deconstructing myself.
You are, yes.
It really is. And it's like I'm taking all these bits and pieces of myself, and it's like, okay, this doesn't work anymore for me. Maybe I need to adjust this part of me and all these different things, but it really, really feels like I'm deconstructing from the inside out. Not necessarily from the outside in, because the bottom line is we have the answers within us. We have the ability to connect. We have the ability to really sit with ourselves and our guides and the higher powers, whichever way you want to call it, to really get into the nitty gritty of what makes us who we are and why. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's what it feels like to me. And I remember this morning I was driving to a client's house, and I drove in silence, and I was talking to my guides, and I was saying, let me get to the place where I am doing the best, the highest good, and I then from that point on is just like I surrendered. I said, okay, I surrender. I am grateful. I am open to receive whatever the messages are, whatever is to the highest good of my life, of what I do with you guys here, and things like that. So it's really coming from a place of power and authenticity and love, that really, really high vibration. And when we got to that point, then we went out for breakfast, and we were coming home, and
before we get to the coming home story.
Oh, okay.
Let me just interject. We had two clients at the same time this morning, so I'm driving to my client, and decided to do it in silence. Usually, I put on a book or the radio or something. Mm-hmm. Now it needs to be silence, just like you. We didn't even know that.
Yeah.
And during the dark night of the soul, a lot of times you will feel like no one's listening. Your guides aren't answering because they're just letting you like sit in that darkness, kind of that like hibernation state of yourself. And I've started recently talking to my higher self and to the different parts of me very differently. So while I was driving, something similar to you, but I was talking like, okay, I know you're there. I know you're with me. I know you're part of me. So give me a feeling, give me a sense of the frequency that's like my essence, my set point, like where I truly am at my highest and best and greatest place to serve myself and others. And you get this like feeling in your body. And I'm like, okay, that's the feeling. All right. Now, can we educate the mind and the ego? And I've got parts of this from the amazing Shaman Durek. Look him up if you haven't, because he's just, oh, he's love and he's fun and he's lit, as he would call himself. And I did this whole process of, as you said, we're deconstructing the mind and the ego and reprogramming them. Because when we're looking usually to our guides and we're looking for the answers, it's like we're looking for somebody to just hand us the secret or the cheat code or all the other things all the marketing tells us all the time to unravel the mysteries and the secrets of the, like, ugh, all that crap, the spiritual new age jargon. And what it really is just opening, and it's a felt sense that you get within your body. That's what a frequency is. So that's why feeling is super important, and redirecting yourself back to a higher frequency feeling.
I think it's cool that we were both doing the same thing without ever
At the
discussing
same
it
time.
whatsoever at the same time, because you were going to one place, I was going to another. And
Okay, so then you texted me breakfast. I said yes. We met up.
yeah, but before
Oh.
we go get into that
Yeah.
that place too, I after I got to my destination and did what I needed to do with the client, and then I'm sitting on this beautiful porch. They have this awesome this place that I take care of a cat there. It's just like the porch is just like heaven. Love sitting there, and it was raining, and that's my favorite. So we both, the cat and I, sat in that quietly, and just I listened to the rain. And again, I sat there in surrender. I sat there in allowing, in the sense, and the energy that was flowing through me was so fucking peaceful. It was unbelievable, because I think that for the first time in a long time, I just kind of said, here, I know what I've been doing. I'm gonna trust the process. And it's just like, okay, this is a good thing here. I'm getting super hot all of a sudden. And I just sat in that for the, like, maybe a half hour or something like that. And then it's just like, okay. And then I blessed and released it. And then that's when
You texted
when
me.
I text you breakfast.
And when she texted me, I sat in this big picture window in this chair and just looked out, and they have this beautiful garden and all these bird feeders. And I was just like, you know what? I've done some powerful work, and like, this is like, I'm just going to sit here and take in all this beauty and powerfulness all around me, and just like respecting the immensity of nature, just showing us the cycles and the blossoming and the dying and the cycles, and it just does it. It's not worrying about it or afraid of it, or like, it just happens.
Just the appreciation of life, of the rhythm of life itself is just like, in those still moments, you get so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is how it starts to feel when you're coming out of the dark night of the soul, because you've stripped down. And like you said, all those, the constructed you, the programmed you, the thinking mind you, it all starts to just fall away, because you're like, okay, I've fought against this. I've looked into it under every nook and cranny. I've done the freaking work. And then you're like, now what? Because I'm still in this place. This is the allowing. This is the surrendering. This is the truly appreciating what's around you. And this is when you start to create the world you want to see. We wanted to see beauty. We wanted to feel peace. We were choosing to open space and surrender to that type of vibration, instead of pointing out like what I might not have that I want, or what I thought I should have created in my life by now, but I haven't. Like, none of that really matters.
Right. And the thing with that is that it felt, let me use the right word. I went into it knowing that it was me. It was my energy. It was my connection.
The true you.
It was a very powerful place. That sovereign part of who I am was very, very present. And this is the thing. It's like, when we get to the point where we're working from that sovereignty, from that knowing, from that peace, whatever happens, whatever situation, you're working from that place. And that is one divine process, let me tell you. And that's where you want everything in your life to navigate from. So when you get there, you do everything you possibly can to stay there. But what I mean by that is you don't have to do much. All you have to do is allow. Period.
Yeah, and that just reminds me of the Course of Miracles. If any of you have read that, there's a place in there where they say at the beginning of this to like just look around you, and anything that's causing you, or anything at all, but whatever's causing you stress or anxiousness or whatever it is, overwhelm, look at it, and none of that means anything. My bank account balance doesn't mean anything. The fact that I don't have a partner in bed next to me, that doesn't mean anything. The fact that my house might be old or small, none of that means anything. That's all this just physical stuff around us. The only thing that means something truly is your survival and sourcing that from within you. So I'm choosing to look for beauty. I'm choosing to look and be of love. And so I take those moments, like when we're with clients, I mean, being with animals, there's nothing better than seeing presence and love and just living in the moment and that type of thing. And then going from that to nature is just like,
right. Exactly. They have a way of, if you really like look at an animal, cat, dog, whatever, just their ability to be so incredibly present and grateful. It's something that we need to master in in such an awesome way.
Yeah.
Because they really get it. They really get that.
I mean, you can leave for 3 seconds and then they're excited to see you again. Well, exactly. Maybe not a cat, but just because a cat has to act like too cool for school, like
they're the boss.
Have to be a little aloof, like they don't really care, but they do.
Yeah, exactly. But in this process this morning, after all of that, I had text her and I says, let's breakfast and all that stuff. So we ended up going to breakfast, and then on our way home, we just like saw. Now, mind you, let me go back. This is what we presented without knowing that we were both doing the same thing. So on our way back home, we noticed this lady on the side of the road taking pictures. And then I looked over and it was a mama bear.
Giant black mama bear.
Of course, we both turned around, got a little closer, and just admired that beauty.
Power.
And there again, since we were surrendered when we did those things, here is the universe, God, goddess, whatever you want to call it, has answered. And the message was loud and clear. Mm-hmm. There was no denying that. And it was just such a beautiful experience. And then on top of that, then we saw her cubs. We didn't even realize that they were there.
Yeah, we watched her being able to like climb up and jump in a tree, which was super cool, watching her launch that massive weight off the ground so gracefully and effortlessly, and then go up the tree. And then all of a sudden we saw a movement a little higher than we were like, oh my God, there's 2. And then it came down a little. I'm like, oh my God, it's a tiny little cub. It was so cute. And then there was another one. Like there's 3 total bears. And we got to watch the mama coax them down the tree. And we'll put up we took some video. We'll have to see if it came out. We'll put some up so you could see it, because it was just so playful and beautiful and protected. Like she was just powerful in protecting them, but then sweet and gentle at the same time. Like it totally embodied everything. We went home and we pulled out our Animal Speak book by Ted Andrews. If you don't have this is a really cool resource of looking up kind of shamanic, magical spiritual meanings behind creatures great and small, as it says on the front. I want to give you a quick message before we get back to this episode. Unlock the secrets of your soul for free with Soul Notes. Say goodbye to feeling stuck and hello to the validation of your alignment. These weekly prompts are filled with reminders, gentle nudges, and sometimes a kick in the ass, all with love from your soul. Don't just take our word for it. Try Soul Notes for yourself and see the difference it can make in your life. Trust us, your soul and you will thank you. Just go to soulnote.org. That's SOULNOTE.org. Now back to our podcast. And it was, we sat and we read it. And it started talking about the dark night of the soul, which is what we were just talking about at breakfast. Mind you, we got up and we're like, we really have to record today. And we have no idea. Usually we have an idea. We have no idea what we're going to talk about. And then just went about our day and, oh, here it is. Says in the book, and dark. We haven't even talked about that. How do we not talk about that yet?
And this is the point that we're trying to make. When we're in surrender and we're tapped in and we just allow everything that we ask for or are communicating about, the answer is there. And again, it doesn't have to be a voice that you hear. It could be anything outside. Just pay attention, because they will answer exactly what it is, that the direction they would like to see you go into that would be most beneficial to you, or anything like that. It's just a matter of when you have a conversation with them, and you must leave space to listen, to really observe what the answers are.
And you'll have to, this isn't like, oh, I'm going to sit and surrender and they're going to tell me the secrets of the universe. You can do that and continue to do that, because what's going to happen is the more you're sitting in meditation or just driving or sitting in stillness, being in silence, witnessing nature, whatever it is that brings you some sort of stillness, space, and peace, the more you're doing that, the monkey mind's going to have to kind of calm down so the thoughts can sift out, so you can get beyond like the waves at the top of the ocean, where you can get into the depth of the ocean where everything is just silent and still. And then in that space, that's where you can start getting those sensations and those feelings and actually hearing in the way that, sometimes we physically hear, but hearing what our higher self, what our, divine feminine, what our divine masculine, spirit, just in general, universe, God, whatever you call it, goddess, what they're actually saying and how they're directing you. Because most of the time, the ego and the mind are running the freaking show, and we're just on that unconscious autopilot. So if you're just directing yourself back, like I was like, oh, okay, a stoplight, it's red. And then 2 seconds later, I'm driving again. I'm like, do I remember it turning green? It must have, because we're all going. Like, I just automatically did it. And I'm like, okay, bring myself back to the present. Shift back here. This is how I want to feel today. This is what I'm doing today. It's just intention and practice and bringing yourself back into consciousness. Because we do things, we drive to the same places every day. We get up and get the coffee. We brush our teeth. We're on autopilot so flippin' much. And this is too much. Yeah. And so this is just stepping yourself out of that. Just, gently just bringing yourself back. Like when you're doing a meditation and focusing, say, on the breath, and you just bring yourself back to the breath. There's no judgment, no beating yourself up. It's just like, oh, I fell asleep for a moment. I'm going to wake back up. It's gentle, pushing yourself back, gently guiding yourself back, nudging yourself back until it just becomes more and more of who you are, and you just do it naturally. And then the unconscious comes in instead of the subconscious running the show, and life gets super magical and super fruitful. And then it falls off again a little bit, and then it gets deeper again, and maybe dreams start more, or visions start more. Magical experiences like the bears this morning begin to happen more and more. Yeah.
Now, I'm certainly going to be working with bear energy for sure, since we played witness to Mama Bear and her cubs. And when we read the stuff, we got a really good direction as to how to work with that. But that, again, that's all part of the process. It's like you have a conversation, you allow the answers to come, and then you put it into practice.
Follow the breadcrumbs.
Exactly. You put it into practice and really get to the deeper parts of your essence, of your abilities, of your creation. So we're definitely going to be working. I know I am. I'm not.
Yeah,
I
did.
Talk for you,
I wrote down actually a couple things that the book said that really hit me. It was talking about the black bear, where you draw upon all your inner stores of energy and your essence, even those which have never been tapped or accessed. Because most of our powers are just sitting latent in us because we were never taught how to use them. We were never taught how to truly feel and work through feelings. We're never taught how to communicate powerfully. We're never taught how to harness our energy. We're not taught about frequencies. We listen to music. We don't even understand the frequencies of music and how they shift and change us. Sound, colors, all that things, the movement. It's just the bear hibernating where they live off their stores of fat. We have so much energy that we can access at any point in time. And we choose to be looking for outside things all the time to fill us and validate us instead of really living from that energy source. This is why like some yogics and monks like don't have to eat for a number of days or whatever, because they know how to harness that energy to survive.
Yeah.
Another thing that the bear teaches you is how to go within to find the resources necessary for your survival. Same thing.
Yeah.
We have it all within us, and we keep looking for, the next job, the next lover, the next whatever to fill that void and keep the ball moving. Like those are the measures of success. To me, the measures of success, how happy I am, how peaceful I feel, how free I am. That's my measure of success.
This reminds me of a what is it, that wire walking thing? Is like
a tightrope.
The tightrope, yeah. Like we're walking a tightrope and we're constantly flipping on either side, depending on where we're at. When we're in our power completely and we're also in surrender completely, we're walking that wire. And it's straight and it's very straightforward, But when we start to question in any way, shape, or form, or unsure, that's when we start to fall off.
Yeah. And then you climb the ladder and you get back on.
Yeah, you do, but I know that at times we sit or stand at the bottom of that ladder saying, do I really want to go up this ladder
It didn't work last time.
Exactly. and that's a hesitation. That's you making a decision or tapping into a part of yourself that isn't quite 100% in it yet. So it's something to look at. The minute those moments come up, those are learning moments for you. And our cat is concurring.
Sorry, our cat is screaming if you can hear it. I mean, it is a learning thing. And I mean, just like an athlete, like I was just watching The Last Dance, the Michael Jordan documentary on Netflix. And I also watched David Beckham's just in the last week because it just moved me to watch them. And the way that these athletes like show up and continue to hone in on their practice, and they do the same things over and over and again and again and again until it is just routine and second nature. And that's what we're talking about. That's how you show up for yourself. And just because you say miss that goal or that basket doesn't mean you suck at soccer or basketball or football if you're from across the pond. Yeah. Nothing is a failure and you don't suck at anything. Everything takes practice, even something you're really good at. These are the best of the best people. Mm-hmm. I mean, we practice spirituality constantly. Like everything to me is spiritual. Everything to me is magical. And the more you look at everything that way, they become that.
Exactly. And I watched The Blue Angels. And that was an interesting documentary. But one of the things that I found in that was that there's a moment where they all sit around a round table and they literally close their eyes and they simulated in their mind what the maneuver is going to be and what the sound of things are and where the hands are supposed to be and where this and that. Like they literally embodied that. Mm-hmm. So, and it's the same thing with spirituality. Okay, you embody it. You really visualize it in your life. You visualize what decisions are best for you. What is the thing that's holding you grounded enough to make it manifest here? Because that's the other aspect of it. And also getting to know yourself in such a deeper level, because it is part of growing and existing in this particular plane when you're connecting to that power of yourself. So it's just like simulate it. simulate it like it's never been simulated before, and really trust it on top of that, because we are all very powerful beings, and our capability to create whatever the hell we want is so there. And all we need to do is believe in that, and stay in that frequency, and stay in the possibility of that.
And the fact that you're here listening to this means that you understand that on some level already. And the power of you being here is you're talking about them all sitting around the round table. I'm picturing back the 80s, 90s when the Bulls like won a million, well, not a million, but a lot of championships under Phil Jackson. He implemented into the team Buddhism, Native American shamanism, yoga, meditation. And I've watched the old footage of them all sitting around in a circle with yoga mats in the middle of the court, meditating, talking to each other, connecting. And they spent a lot of time, like, Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan and Dennis Rodman and all of them talking about like, hey, I can do this for you. And I know you do that well. And what's everybody's superpowers, and how do we meld those together, and how do we support one another? And then we all win together. So you being here connecting with other powerful spiritual beings just shows how powerful you are. And the more we keep communicating and gathering and working together, the easier we get to the other side, and the more we create this nirvana that we're all looking for.
Absolutely.
So you'll feel like this is the collapsing of your perceived life. So if everything's falling apart, you're doing a great job.
Don't get scared. I mean,
well, you will, but that's great.
You will, and that's
because then you learn.
Exactly. But don't let the scarcity of it stop you. I guess that's what I want to really, really put out there, because it is scary and it is hard and it is a lot of those things, but it's the deconstruction of so much that no longer serves you, that once it's all out and out of the way, what's going to be in front of you, it's that much better.
Exactly. So the more you go, the further you go, the less you'll know.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the hell?
Is that great?
And then you're right on track. So just look for that aliveness in life. Yeah. That's what the goal is. That's what the carrot on the stick is. And just keep going, because through that darkness, you're going to meet all the parts of yourself that you were never taught to access and never taught to look at. And the dark is not bad and the light is good. Like, it's all energy. It's all the same thing. There is no dark without light. So it's gathering all those parts of you. And then you really embody and feel that wholeness. Your spiritual awakening is like on supercharge.
Yeah, absolutely. And let me tell you something. If you need help, that's what we're here for. So please reach out, and we will walk by your side if that's what you choose, so that, you can get through the process in a much easier way for you, if that's the case. So, don't ever think that you're by yourself in this process. You may start by yourself, but you don't have to run through the whole thing by yourself.
Exactly.
There will be moments where we will have to just kind of hang back, because that's a road only you need to take, not us. Mm-hmm. But
we'll let you know we're right on the side of the road, like in a marathon, handing you that water and cheering you on. And yeah, so we have a soul note. We'll put the link at the top of the show notes.
Yes.
A soul note, a soul session. Soul sessions are absolutely free. There's no pitch. We're not going to try to sell you anything. It's us being present with you for like a full hour or more if you need it. And we're just going to get on a Zoom together and just get into where you're at and what you need and how to move that needle forward and how to make it feel so much easier than it's been, even when you're going through the hard stuff. So sign up for one of those and get on a call with us, and
let's connect heart to heart.
Yeah. All right. That is it. Dark Night of the Soul.
All right. Be kind.
Peace.